Eggplant is so versatile, but aside from a few boring staples, and I'm thinking of you, eggplant parmesan, most people don't know what to do with it. When an eggplant dish hits the table, I always whoop for joy. I love the texture, the way it absorbs all the flavor and sauces. There's been no point in my life where I needed to take a break from eggplant. Today I'll show you the very best of eggplant in Chinese cuisine. My lamb stuffed eggplant is simply scrumptious. You won't believe how well eggplant pairs with the complex flavor of lamb. Plus, it offers a low-carb meal that's still hearty and satisfying. Braised eggplant and beef combines the mouth-watering texture of tender beef with the delectable bite of perfectly cooked eggplant. Whip up some rice on the side and you've got dinner on the table in a snap. Eggplant and garlic is both classic and simple, but that doesn't mean it's boring. The robust flavors of this recipe should make it a staple for any busy cook. Step outside your comfort zone and cook up eggplant in a whole new way. I'm telling you, you and your family will be surprised how many uses this funny-looking vegetable really has. Eggplant comes in different sizes and shapes, so we're going to use these little ones today and make lamb stuffed eggplant. You're going to take about 8 of these and then we're going to cut them in half. There we go. We're going to pour in 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And 2 tablespoons of mirin. Let's add the eggplant in and toss them. You may have to do this in batches. Just thoroughly coat it. It's time to make the lamb stuffing. So we're going to start off with about 1 pound of ground lamb and add in 1 teaspoon of coriander. Toss in about 1 tablespoon of paprika, and 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds. We're going to add a little bit of spice, so we're going to add in 1 teaspoon of chili flakes. Then 1 teaspoon of fennel seeds. We're not done yet. We need 1/4 cup of breadcrumbs, 1 egg, quarter cup of chopped cilantro, 1/4 cup of chopped green onions, and lastly, 1 teaspoon of salt. Let's give this a really good mix. Just gotta get all this meat mushed. All right, looks pretty good. That looks good. Let's grab our eggplant. And now we're gonna stuff these. Whoa! Slippery suckers. How does that look? Well, that looks amazing, Ching. 'Cause you're amazing. I preheated my oven to about 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm gonna bake these stuffed eggplants for about 20 to 25 minutes. The eggplants have been baking for about 25 minutes now, and we're ready to plate. Whoa, these are so cute. And of course, lamb tastes better with mint. Got a little bit of micro mint here. So cute. Very precise about this. Mini eggplant stuffed with lamb. Delicious. There's so many different ways to cook eggplant. This is my favorite way to do it. Braised eggplant with beef. We're gonna start off with Chinese eggplant, 2 of them. And Chinese eggplant is like this. It's long and skinny, sometimes it's got a little hook, and when you go to the grocery store, if you can, pick it up and wave it around like this. If it's wobbly, that means it's good. It's young and it's deliciously ripe. And also, you wanna weigh some eggplants in your hand. So you wanna pick the lighter one. You may think, oh, I should maybe get the heavier one. No, the lighter one means it's more fleshy, and also the heavier one has a lot of seeds. That's why I always buy the lighter eggplant. So once you have your 2 eggplants, you want to cut it up like so. Cut it up into about like carrot stick size. And this eggplant has already been prepared, meaning it's been rubbed with salt and set aside for about half an hour to let all that moisture come out, and then it's been drained. Next, we're gonna get a baking tray lined with foil. And then we're gonna drizzle a little bit of olive oil. You can use vegetable oil. And we're just gonna lightly brush this. Now we'll get our eggplant and lay it out on the tray. And the reason why we salted the eggplant is so that it just releases all that moisture from the eggplant, so when you cook it, the eggplant doesn't absorb a ton of oil. Doesn't have to be pretty, just lay it out. I'm just gonna brush a little bit of oil on top of the eggplant now. Oh, they're slippery. I've got my oven preheated to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm gonna put this eggplant in for about 15 minutes. While they're cooking, let's talk about the ingredients in this recipe. Ginger. It's hot, spicy. You can pickle it and use it in stir fries, soups, and stews. You can even make a ginger tea, which is really good for colds, sore throats. It also settles your stomach. You can also candy the ginger and eat it like candy. Ginger can be quite fibrous, especially the main trunk, but as it extends out into branches, it gets younger and tender, which is perfect for eating fresh. You can keep it in your fridge fresh up to a week, and then after that, you want to pop it in your freezer. Eggplant is part of the nightshade family. The British call it aubergine. It's classified as a berry. It has a lot of small, soft seeds that are edible. China is the top producer of eggplant. It's low in fat, protein, and carbohydrates. It's usually deep purple, but you can find it in yellow, white, pale green, or even red. It can be a little bit bitter. When you cook it, it becomes tender and more rich in flavor. Eggplant is so hearty and filling that it's perfect for a vegetarian diet. You'll be surprised at how versatile eggplant really is. Rice wine is very popular in Chinese cuisine. It's made from fermented rice in eastern China. One of the more popular rice wines is made from a mixture of glutinous rice, rice millet, yeast, and water that is aged in underground cellars. Rice wine is used in many dishes for marinating and braising, stir fries, and it's similar to a dry sherry. Rice wine is known and used in mainland China, Taiwan, and Southeast Asia. It's used to sweeten and intensify the flavor of a dish. It can also be served as a warm drink. No, it can't. It's cooking wine. The eggplant has been roasting for about 15 minutes. I've taken it out of the oven and set it aside in a bowl. And meanwhile, I've been cooking up a 1/4 pound of ground beef in a little bit of oil. Now I'm going to add a tablespoon of cooking wine. Give it a little stir. Woohoo! I'm going to set this beef aside. Now we're going to make the sauce. We're going to add about 1 tablespoon of oil. Then 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. And 2 tablespoons of sweet bean paste. 1 tablespoon of cooking wine. And about 1 tablespoon of grated up ginger. Let's give this a good stir. Dun, 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 dun. Saucy sauce. And you want the sauce to be simmering on low heat. That smells so good. Oh. The sauce is ready when it comes to a light simmer. We'll take it off the heat and put the beef back on. We'll raise the heat to about medium-high. And that eggplant that we roasted, we're going to add it to the beef now. Once the eggplant is in, we're going to add the sauce we just made. And we'll give it a good mix. We're going to cook this for about 3 minutes. And now I'm going to add 4 green onions, cut into about 2 to 3 inch pieces like this. Gives it that nice pop of color. Just want to cook the green onion for a little bit. Looks like we're ready for plating, so I'm going to turn off the heat. What a tasty way to eat eggplant. Braised eggplant and beef. This is my mom's go-to eggplant recipe. I just call it eggplant with garlic. So we're going to start off with heating about 2 tablespoons of oil in a pan. Now we're gonna start making the sauce. I have 1.5 cups of water in this bowl, and I'm gonna add in 2 teaspoons of chili bean sauce. Then 1 teaspoon of sugar. And 1/4 cup of soy sauce. I'm gonna give this a good stir. Make sure all the sugar is dissolved. Come on, sugar. Sugar is dissolved. The oil is ready to go, so I got 2 Chinese eggplants sliced into discs like this. And they've already been prepped, meaning they got salt rubbed all over them, set aside for about half an hour to release all that moisture, and then drained. Now I'm gonna add this eggplant to the pan. I'm gonna add in 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. Garlicky, delicious. Oh yes, eggplant. Now I'm gonna add the sauce. I'm gonna bring this up to a simmer, and it's gonna simmer for about 15 minutes. So while that's happening, I'm gonna show you how to properly prepare eggplant. Eggplant needs to be prepped a certain way, especially when you're pan frying. Begin by cutting off the top stem, then cut small, thin, round slices. Rub salt on both sides of the eggplant slices, all of the slices, then wait 20 to 30 minutes so it draws out all that moisture from the eggplant. Rinse under water and pat dry as you can. If you follow these steps, your eggplant will not absorb all the oil in your frying pan and it'll cook much nicer. The eggplant has been simmering for about 15 minutes and the sauce has reduced into about half of the amount. So now we're gonna thicken this sauce up. In this bowl here, I've got 1/4 cup of water to 1 teaspoon of cornstarch. Sometimes the cornstarch settles at the bottom, so I'm gonna give it a little mix. Now I can add it to the pan. We'll just wait for it to start simmering and it'll thicken the sauce. The sauce is thickened. I'm going to turn off the heat and grab a plate. I'm going to garnish with a little bit of Thai basil. Eggplant with garlic, my mom's go-to recipe and my go-to recipe too. I love eggplant because it's cheap, hearty, filling, and it's got this spongy texture that absorbs all the flavors in your dish. You put everything in it. There's so many different kinds of eggplants. I just recently tried a yellow one, an orange one, like this red one. It was crazy. And there's also those little small Thai eggplants that are green, a little crunchy. But I love the Chinese eggplant because it's like long, skinny, spongy, just absorbs so much more flavor than the other kinds. When you take a bite of the lamb stuffed eggplant, you get a nice bite of everything, a mouthful of that soft, soft eggplant and then the spiced lamb. In Chinese cuisine, you usually cook eggplant with beef, but this time we're gonna use lamb instead. It's so many different flavors and all the Asian spices in there, delicious. When you take a bite of the braised eggplant and beef, it's just been cooking for a while, so it absorbs all those sweet and savory flavors, and the eggplant is like nice and soft. The beef is really tender. This recipe, tasty! Eggplant and garlic is just such a staple. It's a basic recipe and it's so flavorful. You can pair it up with different things, whatever you have left in your fridge. When you take a bite of the eggplant and garlic, it should be cooked so tender that it's like super, super soft. I don't want to use the word mushy, but it's mushy. But I like that texture. The garlic and the eggplant is just so good for you. Like it just pairs up really nicely with the eggplant. My favorite thing about eggplant is it's super versatile. You can use it in anything and everything.